Hello there, financial warriors. Welcome back to Legend Finance. If you're new around here, we're dedicated to equipping you with practical financial wisdom. Today, we're exploring a highly requested topic: tips to save money fast. Whether you're gearing up for a special purchase, creating an emergency fund, or simply growing your savings, we've got some stellar tips to boost your savings game. Before we dive into the heart of it, make sure to click on the subscribe button and activate notifications. We bring you valuable content about personal finance, budgeting, and investing that you surely don't want to miss. Also, hit the like button if you're ready to accelerate your savings journey. All right, are you prepared? Grab your notes because it's time to supercharge your savings. Let's get started. Don't spend money. Here's a fun collective experiment we could all try. Let's delay any planned purchases until the next day. Sounds unusual, right? The magic behind this tactic is resisting those sneaky impulse buys that often go unnoticed. Now for a trivia break. Did you know that shopping actually releases dopamine in our brains, sparking feelings of joy and well-being? Here's the kicker. It's not buying that sends us on a dopamine high, but the anticipation of the purchase. Fascinating, right? This means we could potentially reap the same benefits of shopping without spending a dime. The trick is to enjoy window shopping without actually buying. Here's how we can all try this. If something catches our eye, let's not rush to buy it immediately. Instead, let's sleep on it and revisit the decision the next day. More often than not, you'll find the urge to buy has subsided by the next day. By simply delaying our purchases, we could end up saving a surprising amount without feeling like we're missing out. All it takes is waiting 24 hours. Now, if we waited a day and still want to buy something, let's ask ourselves, would we rather have this item or its cash equivalent? Sometimes our desire for something can make us overlook its actual cost. So let's pause and consider. If we could either have the item or the exact amount of money it costs, which would we choose? The beauty of this way of thinking is that if we opt to save our money instead of buying something, it's almost like we're getting paid to save. Sure, this mindset could be stretched to absurd limits, but when applied to everyday spending, it encourages us to prioritize what's truly valuable to us in the long run. Now, let's think about all the things we bought. How many items do we wish we could trade back for what we spent? Remember that pricey item we've used only a few times, each use equated to a significant portion of its cost. By considering the cost per use and weighing whether we'd rather have the cash equivalent, we'll likely find ourselves spending less and saving more. Think to yourself, here's another neat approach to managing your money. Consider how much work time it'll take to cover a certain expense. Let's say you earn $20 an hour and you're eyeing a fancy $60 dinner. Well, that dinner would cost you 3 hours of your hard work. Or what about a $20 meal during your lunch break? That's like working an extra hour just to afford it. This idea is central to the book Your Money or Your Life. And let me tell you, if you haven't read it yet, it's definitely worth picking up. But if you're short on time, let me give you a quick snapshot of its main message. We all have a finite amount of time in this world, so it's crucial to make the most of that time, not just financially, but also in terms of personal fulfillment. The key is to prioritize spending on the things that matter most to us. Because our time is a scarce resource, we don't want to spend it working just to afford things that don't bring us lasting value. For instance, when you think about how much work it would take to pay for something you might not use often, it can help you evaluate whether it's worth buying in the first place. It's like when I work out at the gym and debate whether I prefer to indulge in a Snickers bar and then burn it off by running on the treadmill for 40 minutes, or if I'd rather skip the Snickers entirely. The clear answer is we love the 40-minute treadmill run because Snickers bars are irresistible. Just kidding. In truth, it's far easier to avoid the Snickers than to burn them off. The same goes for spending. It's simpler not to buy something than to work harder to afford it. When you start thinking this way, I promise, you'll become more thoughtful about your spending and better understand the time commitment it requires to cover those expenses. Transfer money. Here's a fun and easy money-saving tip for you that you can do anytime. Imagine that every time you find a way to spend less or save, you shift that amount to a different account. It's a neat little trick that not only ensures the money you save stays saved, but it also lets you see the fruits of your frugality right away. For example, let's say you decided to cook lunch at home instead of dining out, and you ended up saving $10. That's a win. Now, instead of letting that $10 linger in your main account, transfer it over to your dedicated savings account. Keep doing this every time you spend less than you planned on anything and everything. This strategy will slowly build your savings and allow you to see the tangible results of your efforts in real time. The satisfaction of watching your savings grow can be incredibly motivating. Once you experience this for yourself, we believe you'll be really jazzed about the idea of having some extra cash on hand. This in turn could make you even more committed to keeping up with this simple yet effective habit. Future value. Has anyone ever considered the future value of their money? It's a fascinating concept. When we save and invest, our money has the potential to grow over time. On the other hand, when we spend it, we're essentially putting a halt to that growth. Imagine this. You're about to splurge on some delectable avocado toast for $20. If, instead, you decide to invest that $20 and let it grow over the next 40 years, considering the average historical return of the stock market, adjusted for inflation, and with dividends reinvested, that $20 could potentially morph into an impressive $300 of future money. A pretty incredible transformation. So when facing a purchasing decision, we could ask ourselves, is this avocado toast really worth the $300 it could be in the future? If the answer is no, perhaps we might want to pass on it. And this isn't just about avocado toast. It's a mindset that can be applied to any purchase. Take a $5 cup of coffee, for instance. If we think about it in terms of future money, that cup of coffee might equate to around $75. It suddenly seems a lot more expensive when viewed in that light. This is where some creativity comes into play. Brewing coffee at home can cost as little as 20 cents a cup and can be just as satisfying, if not more so, than that cup from Starbucks. So as we weigh up our purchases, let's ask ourselves, will this bring me the same value now as it could in the future if I invested this money instead? If the answer is no, it might be a good idea to skip it. Of course, everyone's different, and there's a fine line between living in the moment and planning for the future. It's vital for each of us to find a balance that suits us individually, allowing us to enjoy the present while being prepared for what lies ahead. By striking this balance, we can ensure we're not missing out on today's joys while also setting ourselves up for a more secure future. Make more money. And lastly, let's touch upon one more point that is absolutely crucial to anyone who wants to boost their savings. The stark reality is that if we've already done all of the above and we're still not saving enough, there's no workaround. We need to earn more. It's that simple. Now, when we say earn more, it's not meant to sound trite or oblivious to the complexities of real-life struggles. We understand that making more money can be easier said than done. But there's a reality here we can't ignore. There's only so much we can save. We can only cut back on our expenses so far until we've stripped things down to the bare minimum. Everyone will eventually reach a point where it's just not possible to save anymore. At that juncture, it's time to shift our efforts from saving to figuring out how to enhance our income. This could mean learning a new skill, picking up a side job, or exploring a different career path. This is the necessary final step in saving more money. Just like there's a limit to how much we can save, there's also a limit to the number of hours we can work in a day. That's why finding avenues of income that reward results, not hours worked, can be incredibly beneficial. These could include sales roles, affiliate marketing, or any form of online business. By gradually adopting these strategies and sticking to them, we have the potential to save a lot of money without really noticing the effort. That is, until we check our bank account and discover a bunch of extra Benjamins sitting there that weren't there before. So let's take these steps and embark on our journey towards a healthier financial future. Thank you so much for watching Legend Finance. We truly appreciate you taking the time to join us on this financial journey. We hope you find these quick savings tips valuable. Remember, everyone's financial situation is unique, but with a little bit of discipline and these strategies, we're confident you can start seeing a difference in your savings fast. If you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Your likes help us reach more people and continue providing quality content for you. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to stay updated on all things finance. Feel free to drop your thoughts, experiences, or any additional tips you may have in the comments section below. We love hearing from you, and your input might just help someone else save too. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Remember to keep pushing towards your financial goals. As we always say here at Legend Finance, stay legendary. We'll catch you in the next one.